Imagine waking up every day and feeling like a stranger in your own life. You're not living, you are just existing and going through the motions. This was me in April 2024. I was not living, I was just existing, going through the motions. Days and months of sleepless nights and questions that echoed deeply. Why do I exist? What's my purpose? And what's the point of it all? My condition kept on deteriorating. Days and months of lifeless existence went on. I sought advice from my school counselor. On my school counselor's advice, I tried to keep myself busy just to avoid getting enough time to think. But unfortunately, that didn't work too. My condition kept on deteriorating. It felt heavy. Life felt heavy. I started going to bed at 8 p.m. and wake up late in the morning, just to spend less time consciously aware. It felt heavy. Life felt heavy. I remember it was mid-May when my friends were busy preparing for end-of-the-year farewell parties and picnics, none of which I was interested in. Pretty obviously, I felt isolated. I remember back then I called my siblings. I finally gathered the courage to talk to someone and made a group call with my siblings. Pretty obviously, they didn't answer because they were busy studying. I cried and got a call back from my brother. He quoted a German philosopher, "How can I arise anew if I have not first become to ashes?" Meaning, this journey can be seemingly destructive, but can be ultimately empowering. And humorously, he referred to it as puberty at its peak. Honestly, calling it just puberty, is an insult to this stage. It's traumatic. Anyways, this TED Talk is not about my brother's pep talk or my sad story. It's about reassurance and resolution for those who have been through this, for like-minded individuals. And I'm sure these like-minded individuals are 90% of teenagers, 90% of you guys sitting here. So my brother advised me to make some small atomic changes in my life. That included learning to crochet, learning to play the guitar, and fiddling around with Arduino. And fourth and most important change was a trauma for me in itself. It was quitting social media, quitting junk food, and then exercising. Indeed, the solution made me cry more than the problem. But it was worth it. Now these rules that he had set for me didn't answer my existential question, and we are going to get there, just wait for a while. But what these rules did to me was psychologists refer to it as cognitive restructuring. Cognitive restructuring is all about challenging existential thought patterns, which in my case were negative thought patterns and existential questions, to build new ones, to reduce rumination on negative thought patterns, basically. So obviously, this cognitive restructuring and these new rules didn't answer my existential question, but they taught me something. I realized that life is a series of these moments. Moment 1, moment 2, moment 10, moment 100, and you die. This is how we are defined. Those rules were not supposed to make me a monk, pretty obviously, but they were meant to bring atomic changes in my life and help me function humanely, / help me learn and grow, / help me experience, basically. So, as I was telling you, that life is a sequence of these moments. And moment 100, after that, death. So this is what life is all about. Now, what you do with these moments, what you do before your breath becomes air, is the only thing that matters. Then, what I did was, I didn't stick to any of those routines and rules for more than 3 weeks, honestly. I was supposed to do it for 2 months straight, but I didn't stick to it for more than 3 weeks. All he did to me was my cognitive restructuring. And for my existential questions, I later realized something very important. My existential dread had arose from 2 books that I had read, Ikigai and Man's Search for Meaning by Dr. Viktor Frankl. I thought, why can I not find my meaning? What's wrong with me? Am I not worth it? But I later realized that the answer to my questions, and 90% of people sitting here, is very straightforward. Why do I exist? What's my purpose? Why am I here? What should I do? I'm lost. The answer is, you are here to live. You are here to survive, to eat, to sleep, to learn, to gain, to lose, to experience weathers and emotions, to experience memories, to cherish memories, and to relish small achievements. This is what you're meant to do. Nothing else. This is just what you're meant to do. To everyone who's going through existential dread, please know that you are not alone. I made a mistake when I read Ikigai and Man's Search for Meaning. In Man's Search for Meaning, Dr. Viktor Frankl says that the purpose of life is a life of purpose. But I'd like to rephrase that today. I would say that the purpose of life is a life of purposes. In his book, he says that the biggest task for any person is to find meaning in his or her life. I mistook that. I thought I can never find a meaning. But I forgot something. I forgot that it was the same author who also wrote something else. It was the same author who wrote that a person can find the meaning of his or her life in 3 possible ways. In work, in love, and in courage. For me, I found it in work. I found it in thriving as a student. I found it in learning and experiencing. I forgot that this was the same author who also wrote that the meaning of life changes, but it never ceases to be. And whoa, there, my ultimate ikigai, my ultimate meaning is obviously not going to be in work forever, but it will never cease to be. That's the point of living, and that's the art of living. If you're going through existential dread, please know that you're not alone. To mentors, counselors, and parents, please don't push us to find answers so quick. We are not fully baked yet. You can never really have it all figured out. Because the day you do, your goals change, ideas change, and circumstances change. Thank you, everyone.